We have an interview with the student who started the petition to change Valpo's COVID-19 dashboard.
And sudden administration changes have happened here at Valpo.
And find the fronts. We warmed up today. We're going to cool down this weekend. I'll give you all the details coming up.
We have that and more on this edition of 15 News at 5 starts right now.
Thank you for joining us on 15 News at 5. I'm Nick Rakowski.
And I'm Heather Bricka.
Students are concerned about how the COVID-19 data is presented on the Valpo COVID-19 dashboard. There's an online petition, and the main goal is to improve the COVID-19 dashboard. Some students are pushing for the number of tests conducted, total number of cases, and the positivity rate of the tests. 15 News' Ryan Glassman sat down for an interview with a student who started the petition.
What made you decide to start this petition?
Yeah, so I originally, coming to campus, I was looking forward to things that Valpo was planning to do as far as COVID-19 precautions and different guidelines they had in place. But once I got onto campus is when I kind of realized that there were a lot of faults and there were a lot of loopholes and things that were kind of an issue. And I started, emailing the administration, emailing the COVID response team. It was pretty much just being ghosted, which was really discouraging. So then finally, after 3 or 4 emails, Rick and Ryan agreed to sit down with me, and we had a pretty decent meeting. I was really discouraged from the first meeting, as with all of the meetings I had with him. But the first meeting, he was lecturing me a lot. But something that I got out of that meeting was the administration and the COVID response team thought that all of my concerns were pretty much just they were reflective of the actual concerns in the actual campus. So after taking a day or two to think about that meeting and kind of talking with other people, petition might be the best way to do it. Social media posts weren't doing anything, meetings and emails weren't doing anything. So if I can get this petition started and show the diversity, other people on campus are also feeling the way I feel.
So my next question is, what specific problems do you have with the dashboard?
I think the lack of data is kind of just the general issue I have with it. More specific, the fact that we aren't reporting how many tests administered on campus and how many test results they received each day. That's concerning because I think that really puts into context we have quarantine numbers. Right now, there's a lot of rumors on campus going around.
How have the number of students signing your petition impacted your outlook?
When I first started the petition, part of it was, yes, I wanted to show the administration that it wasn't just me with these concerns, because I did know that friends and I have, had people come up to me just randomly and, express concerns. But I wanted to see how many people actually wanted the dashboard improved. So I think, now how many signatures there are, I was, impressed.
Monday, students and staff received an email that Julie DeGraw, Vice President of Student Affairs, was leaving Valpo and that her last day was on Monday. Steve Janowiak, Associate Dean of Student Life, will be stepping in temporarily as Interim Vice President of Student Life until the search for a new one can begin. Interim Vice President Janowiak has served many colleges in student life or admissions, such as being the Vice President of Student Affairs at Briar Cliff University in Iowa, as well as various positions in the University of Idaho, Marian University, and DePaul University.
The recent excitement on campus over the anticipated Jelly Skelly has been delayed temporarily. The Valpo campus community learned last week that the 12-foot skeleton was supposed to place in the East Quad will not be available until next year. The skeletons produced by Home Depot have been out of stock for several weeks and will not be back in stock soon. In a statement on Facebook, Jacob Wieglin wrote, "It's been a wild ride. I'm beyond grateful to teach and every one of you for your support. I admire the community that formed around this idea, and I wish we had the chance to see this through to completion. The current plan is to have the giant skeleton on the East Quad in 2021.
The Horror Union held its first Halloween door decorating contest for the different staffs that work around the union. The contest ended October 13th and allowed everyone to bring out their Halloween spirit, with various Halloween themes such as ghosts and ghouls, candy, and popular monsters from pop culture. The winner of the contest was the admin desk staff, followed by university events and the welcome desk and event services as a tie for third. Some door designs can be found on their Instagram page at Hara Union, or feel free to walk through and see the doors for yourself.
Dr. Bell's Race, Gender, and Class Media is hosting a virtual symposium on Wednesday, October 28th at 6:30 p.m. on Zoom. The event will be about representation and bias in media. The goal will be to discuss and educate on the biases in media and culture. The Zoom ID for the event is 244-942-3024. All students and faculty are invited.
This week's poll is out. What do you do when you plan to dress up for Halloween? Do you want to be a popular monster, a celebrity, a cute, wholesome costume, or a scary, gory costume? Head on over to our Twitter page after the broadcast to cast your vote. We have 15 Weather's Blake Harms in the studio today to tell us about our upcoming weather. So Blake, how long will it be till we start to see the snow in Valpo?
Well, Heather, I can tell you I'm going as a suburban dad for Halloween, and it's a very good thing I have a DeWalt sweatshirt because it's really going to cool down by the time Halloween gets here. It's an active day temperature-wise. We're up in the mid-70s here in Valpo. A warm front pushed off to our north. We got a cold front dragging behind that. That's pushed us up into the upper 70s. Compare that to portions off to our north. Less than 200 miles to the north, they haven't been able to escape the 40s today. So certainly a wide temperature spread throughout the region, and that's noted here by our 24-hour temperature change. Look at this, more than 20 degrees warmer than it was at this point yesterday in Valpo. Points down by Kansas City, Missouri are closer to the 30-degree range. That's how much warmer they are than they were yesterday. 24-hour radar loop shows that precipitation associated with the warm front really stalling out. That allowed some portions near Chicago, up near Grand Rapids, to get 2 to 3 inches of rain. We'll show you those totals in just a few minutes. But it's nice here. We escaped without too much rain. It's dry, pleasant, but that's going to be changing in the next few days. I'll have all the details coming up for you in just a few minutes.
Thanks, Blake. Firefighters are still fighting wildfires in Colorado.
And an earthquake happened in Alaska with tsunami warnings being issued afterwards. Stick with us.
In Larimer County at the Cameron Peak Fire, fire crews haven't stopped fighting since August. People have lost their homes, structures have been destroyed. This fire remains the largest wildfire on record in Colorado. Reporter Gary Brody spoke with the volunteer firefighters who are giving us an inside look at their firefighting efforts.
Largest fire we've ever seen.
Glen Haven Fire Chief Kevin Zagorda and his crew are on the most important assignment of their life.
We've been talking about it and training and getting ready for it, but at the moment it came, it was a little scary.
Last week, the Cameron Peak Fire spread to their own backyard.
We're also evacuated from our homes right now.
The 15 volunteer members have been at it for nearly a week.
It's hard on the families because, we're out there working hard all day long and they have to hold down the fort. Spouses don't spend much time together these days.
Putting in 14-hour days from sunup to sundown, eating dinner together before it's time to go back to their hotels.
I'd like to be able to say we didn't lose any structures, but we did lose several.
Chief Zagorda says saving structures is their top priority.
And I saw multiple homes in the past 2 days where the fire was entirely surrounding the home. Everything was black, and the home was standing like nothing happened.
The fight is difficult.
The first 2 days, it was hard to feel good about it because it was so overwhelming.
But Zagorda and his crew have hope, determined to save their homes.
And then when the winds finally died down, in the past 2 days, we've been able to go on direct attack and take it to the fire instead of the fire taking it to us.
Officials say a tsunami was generated after a strong earthquake in a remote part of Alaska. Tsunami sirens blared after the magnitude 7.5 quake hit near Sand Point on Monday. The National Tsunami Warning Center says the earthquake created 2 waves more than 4 feet high. The warning center is now keeping an eye on harbors along 500 miles of Alaska's coastline. The quake was centered south of the Aleutian Peninsula. It was followed by multiple aftershocks.
The new panda cub at the Smithsonian National Zoo took something of a field trip outside its den with its mother on Sunday. His mother, Mi Zhang, started taking him outside of the den and into the main enclosure this weekend. The trips are usually brief, and it consists of Mi Zhang gently nudging and scooting her baby along the floor. The zoo expects this little jaunts outside the den to get longer and more frequent as time goes by. The 8-week-old cub continues to practice crawling and is expected to take his first steps around 3 months old. Coming up after the break, Blake will have your full forecast.
And we'll take a look at this past week's Crusader and national sports. Stick with us.
Want to begin with our rain totals from overnight last night. Notice the column on the left are all totals in Illinois. On the right, they're Indiana. Totals were substantially higher the farther north you went. Naperville, Midway, all over 2.5 inches of rain, although Valpo at the airport right here down the road only saw just over ½ an inch. So we needed the rain, but we'll take it where we can get it. Some areas saw a little bit more than what they bargained for last night into today. It's a pretty expansive system, got a lot of rain associated with a cold front that'll be working its way in our direction eventually. Minneapolis getting hit with even more snow. They saw almost 8 inches on Tuesday. They're going to get some more overnight tonight into Friday. Pretty active weather pattern, and that's noted here by the temperatures regionally. You'll notice the cold front extending down to the south here. Warm front is currently stationed over southern Michigan into northern Illinois. We're on the warm side of that, upper 70s here. The fronts are also very distinguishable by dew points. A lot of moisture to work with down here. That's going to be the fuel for a lot of our rain showers overnight. Otherwise, pretty dry conditions that's going to be moving in, and it should give us at least a brief reprieve from all this precipitation we've been seeing. Temperatures locally, 77 in Valpo, 73 Michigan City. Mid to upper 70s are common across the board, stretching over into eastern Illinois. Future radar, as we time out that front, you'll notice the leading edge of that precipitation moving through overnight tonight. By the time the morning commute gets here, we should be seeing some showers here in Valpo. Those will linger through much of the morning into the early afternoon hours before gradually clearing out, although we'll hang on to that cloud cover for much of the overnight. We'll finally begin to clear out during the day on Saturday. In terms of rainfall amounts, we're looking at around 1/3 of an inch. I think 1/4 to 1/2 inch is fair. No substantial totals likely like what we saw last night into this morning, although some higher totals are possible off to our north once again. In terms of future temperatures, it's pretty easy to see that cold front sweep through. By just before rush hour this morning, we'll see these temperatures really take a nosedive and those green and yellow shades sweep through our region rather quickly. By 5 o'clock, rush hour tomorrow, going home, we'll see temperatures in the mid-40s. So you're going to have to dress a lot different for the morning than you will in the afternoon. We'll see about a 20-degree temperature drop during the day tomorrow. These temperatures remain rather steady during the day on Saturday. 7-day forecast, it's not so bad, give and take. Some rain tomorrow associated with that cold front, perhaps a few rumbles of thunder. We'll see some clearing skies during the day on Saturday. Our only substantial rain chance next week is on Monday. We'll see some scattered showers. Otherwise, temperatures in the 40s and 50s, and before you complain about that, we got some nasty weather, like I mentioned, happening off to our north. So we should count our blessings, guys.
For sure, I'm definitely counting my blessings. Don't want to see that snow yet. Thanks, Blake. After the break, we'll have a recap of this past week's Crusader and national sports.
This week in Valpo sports, men golf finished the fall season against Drake at Spirit Hollow Golf Course in Burlington, Iowa. Windy conditions during the 18-hole match would prove difficult for Valpo. The leading scorer for the Crusaders was Caleb Van Aragon with a 4/76. Junior Garrett Willis and freshman Alex Heck carded 79s. The final scorer was freshman Mason Bond with an 80. Valpo would lose the match to Drake with a final score of 306 to 316. The men's golf now is finished with their fall season and looks to get a fresh start in February for the spring season. The Chicago Bears were in Carolina on Sunday to face the Carolina Panthers. The Bears scored early in the first with a pass from Nick Foles to Cole Kmet. The Bears would hold on to the lead for the rest of the game as the defense held Panthers quarterback Teddy Bridgewater to 216 passing yards and 2 interceptions, including a game-sealing interception with 1.5 minutes left in the game. Chicago wins 23-16. The MLB World Series matchup is set. From the American League, the Tampa Bay Rays, and from the National League, the Los Angeles Dodgers. The Dodgers came back from a 3-1 game deficit in the NLCS to secure their spot in the World Series. The Braves held off a series comeback by the Astros to win in Game 7 to advance. The first game of the World Series was held Tuesday night. The Dodgers were the first to strike in the 4th inning as Cody Bellinger hit a 2-run homer to right center. The Rays would answer with a homer from Kiermaier in the top of the 5th to bring the score 2-1. In the bottom of the fifth, the Dodgers would run away with the first game by scoring 4 runs in the bottom of the fifth. Dodgers would take the first game with a score of 8-3. Former NASCAR Series driver Kyle Larson will be reinstated January 1st, 2021. This comes following an incident where Larson said a racial slur on a Twitch livestream thinking he was in a private channel. NASCAR released a statement saying, quote, NASCAR continues to prioritize diversity and inclusion across our sport. Kyle Larson has fulfilled the requirements set by NASCAR and has taken several voluntary measures to better educate himself so that he can use his platform to help bridge the divide in our country. Larson's indefinite suspension has been lifted. Under the terms of his reinstatement, he will be cleared to return to all NASCAR racing activities effective January 1st, 2021. Now the question looms, where will Kyle Larson end up driving in 2021? And maybe we should know by the end of next week, by our next newscast. We might know by then.
Wow, that's pretty fun. I'm glad that he can start back racing, though.
Yeah,
that's
he's a
exciting
great and
news.
talented racer, so hopefully he can get back into a ride real soon.
Hopefully. Well, thanks, Nick. After the break, Blake will have a final look at your weather.
Well, we've got a pretty intense cold front coming through tomorrow. It's going to cool us down. After that, we're chilling in the upper 40s to low 50s. Going to certainly want to start searching for a rather warm Halloween costume if either of you plan on going out trick-or-treating this year.
I don't know about Nick, but I definitely am not. But I need to grab my winter coats now.
I might put out some candy for some kids to go trick-or-treating.
I mean, you do have like your front porch, so
Yeah,
I guess
exactly.
I should too, but probably not. Well, thanks, Blake. Hey, I have a question for you. This one came in from a viewer. Is not having fall break beneficial to the Valparaiso University community?
No.
No.
I would say no.
Hard no?
I understand why they had to do it, and obviously I think we all do. But I could have used a break right around last week.
Especially as all of us are seniors, we're used to having that mid-semester break, and we could really use it right about now.
Yeah,
We're
I'm
almost there,
feeling
though.
pretty tired, but
We're almost there.
we're
3
yeah,
weeks of
more
classes
than
after this
halfway.
week.
Yep,
We'll get there.
we can make it.
We can, hopefully.
If you have a question for us, send it our way on our Facebook or Twitter, and we might answer it. You can send screenshots of forums, questions you've been asked, or questions that you have yourself.
From all of us at VUTV, thank you so much for joining, and we'll see you next Thursday on 15 News.